Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to look at an Invincible blockers type deck, big black blockers. We've played it before using Craniamon to make all of our blockers unable to be deleted by our opponent's effects. And CS is the perfect engine to do this. We have some nice black-green bridges to ensure some double up on our colors and get into some really nasty blocking stacks. So, for our eggs, per usual with CS, 4 copies of the Wanyamon. When we shuffle our top card into our sources, we can then Evo with the cost reduced by 1. It's just going to give us really efficient ways to get into different pieces in our stack and actually recycle some effects that are really handy. Like our level 3s here, we're on 4 copies of the BT22 Hagurumon. When effects place Digimon cards with CS in your sources, you give something minus 3k. That does add up. It is really handy to have, especially with our Guardromon over there. And then, as per usual with all of our CS level 3s, we can place our CS trait top card as our bottom source to draw a card. That's how you're shuffling sources into your stack and making sure you can Evo back up to farm these effects. We are also going to run 4 copies of the Palmon, which says when effects place Digimon cards with the CS trait in your sources, you gain a memory. Just really efficient in this deck. We have a lot of 4-cost Evos in our level 5 and 6 slots, so we want to make sure that we can actually have enough memory to play with to set up our plays without kind of scrounging for memory, if that makes sense. I am on 3 copies of the Terriermon of the rookies. I find this is the least important because we are not running that many CS Tamers, just 4 of them. But when effects place Digimon cards with the CS trait in this Digimon's sources, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play 1 Tamer card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. It does come up, it does set up really nicely when we have CS Tamers in hand, but because there's only 4 of them, this is a little bit less relevant than the RizeGreymon will be in our level 5 stack. On to level 4s, I'm on 4 copies of BT22 Guardromon. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k for the turn. Like I said with Hagurumon, this does add up if you can trigger Haguru and Guardromon in the same turn, and then you can possibly even Digivolve into a second Guardromon. That's minus 9k. That is really strong. And then we also do get a D-Digivolve 1 if there are 2 or more same level cards in the stack when we Evo into this. So minus 9k with a D-Digivolve is guaranteed to take out most stacks on level 6 Digimon. It's really great. Also, the opponent's turn, inheritable here, this Digimon gets 2k DP. We are running a blocker-centric deck, so having a 2k DP bonus on the opponent's turn is awesome. It's going to really lean into our theme and make sure that our blockers are an actual wall that stands in the opponent's way instead of just a little inconvenient thing that they have to swing through. We are going to run 2 copies of the Togemon for BT22. On play, when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gets 3k DP for the turn. Then, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, you get Raid Piercing for the turn, and then your turn 2k DP bonus. This is just the best level 4 to round out after my first 2 choices, which are Guardromon and the Numemon. Togemon is green-red, which offers a great bridge through MetalTyrannomon. The Raid Piercing does come up. I think the plus 3k DP is a little bit more relevant to let your level 5s come in for some relatively safe swings, but it is here to fill out the level 4 count. We do have 4 copies of the GoldNumemon. On play, when Digivolving, give one of your opponent's Digimon security attack -2 until their turn ends. We are not going to use the Warp into Platinum Numemon. The inheritable here is pretty great when this Digimon would Evo into a Digimon card with a CS trait, reduce the cost by 1. If we stack these up underneath something, we can get into that RizeGreymon for 1 or 2, which is great regardless. It's just value. It stalls the game. Giving that security -2 can make it really annoying for your opponent to have to deal with what we have on board and buys us time to get into some of these more expensive Evos. We did touch on it. Our first level 5 here is EX8 MetalTyrannomon. It is green and black, so we can go into this on top of the Togemon with the green color, and black lets us go on top of Guardromon or the Numemon. So on play, when Digivolving, you may suspend a Digimon, and then if this Digimon is suspended, D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon, and until the end of your opponent's turn, their effects can't return this Digimon to hand or deck or affect it with D-Digivolve effects. This is a really versatile tool. I find very frequently that just suspending your own MetalTyrannomon, D-Digivolving something, and then having your immunity is really strong here. The inheritable is also fantastic. When this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trash their top security. This is an all turns effect. So if we block something, we get to trash a security, just applying that mounting pressure on the opponent and trying to force them to find a way out of our setup. We have 4 copies of BT22 RizeGreymon. This is our level 5 of choice within the CS engine. Has Raid. When Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers from your hand and without paying the cost, you may play a red or black Tamer with a play cost of 4 or less, or a Tamer card with the CS trait. This hits everything in our Tamer pool. It gives security attack +1 as an inherit. It has Raid, complements the Togemon very nicely. You can get plus 3k, and then the 2k inheritable on top, so that's 5k on the RizeGreymon, makes it a 13k Raid body that plays you a Tamer. It's just kind of everything we could ask for in our level 5 slot. Onto our level 6s, 4 copies of BT3 Craniamon. This is my preferred Craniamon. Has blocker, and then all turns, your Digimon with blocker can't be deleted by your opponent's effects. Granted, this is a weaker effect than it used to be. You used to not see as many bounce effects floating around, things that bounce to bottom deck or to hand. There are a lot more of those now, but having blanket protection on all of your blockers is still really good. Some of the lower tier decks certainly can't deal with cards that get around deletion effects by having protection, so Craniamon is still a pretty valid way to have some fun in black blockers. Complementing the Craniamon very naturally is actually the BT22 Alphamon. We have 3 copies. It's a reboot blocker. On play, when digivolving, and when attacking, something gets minus 5k for the turn. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon suspends, if Kyoko is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, or if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, it gets 3k until your opponent's turn ends, then this Digimon unsuspends. Something really nice about the Alphamon is that this can evo on top of Kyoko for 5, as long as you have 3 or fewer security cards, and that kind of alleviates an issue with Craniamon that is really overlooked, I feel, and that is that all your Digimon blocker can be deleted by your opponent's effects, but it does take a little bit to kind of set up multiple blockers that kind of actually pressure your opponent instead of just having one body on the board that doesn't do a whole lot. Now that you can actually evo on top of the Kyoko, if the opponent punishes us for setting up by taking our security away, we now have the opportunity to get that Craniamon on board, warp into the Alphamon, and then we have 2 blockers, one with reboots, and they are just kind of immediate pressure instead of something that takes a long time to build. So Alphamon, fantastic complement for the Craniamon. We are also running a copy of BT12 Laplace's Demon. Main until the end of your opponent's turn. One of their Digimon gains start of your main phase. This Digimon attacks. Just a great way to pass turn, put the opponent at 1, and force them to attack into one of our blockers. Especially if you get to block with a Craniamon that has MetalTyrannomon underneath, you can force the opponent to lose a security, lose something that is probably important for their gameplay, and then you are sitting pretty with the ball in the opponent's court and not a lot of memory to play with. We are running 2 copies of Black Scramble. Like I said, we have some expensive evos. We have the 4-cost Craniamon, the 4-cost MetalTyrannomon, and we want to be able to make those a little bit cheaper. The Scramble is also going to let us put a black Digimon card from trash on top of the deck, and if we don't have a Digimon, we can float something onto the board. Just a good way for us to kind of tighten up the deck a little bit and keep our tempo strong. We're going to run the 4 copies of the Kuremi Detective Agency. It's going to find most of our pieces. It does find us a valid level 6 with the Alphamon. It does whiff MetalTyrannomon and Craniamon, but this is kind of our, I think, best compromise to not whiff a lot of other pieces in the deck. You could go the black training, the defense training, if you want to. I am sticking in the theme of CS, so Kuremi is here for me, but definitely could run the defense training. It's probably, honestly, a little bit better here. The whiffs are probably a little bit worse with the defense training. You're going to whiff more of your bottom end, but the Kuremi will whiff more of your top end, so take a little bit care with that choice. We are running 3 copies of the Tai Kamiya. This card is awesome with any blocker-based deck. It is a mem setter. When attack targets are switched, you suspend this Tamer to draw 1 and give one of your Digimon plus 2k DP until the end of the turn. This guarantees that Craniamon is going to be really obnoxious to deal with. You can potentially have 2 to 6k on that body, and then it is really kind of difficult to swing past. We can also play this for free with the RizeGreymon, which feels amazing. Not having to pay for memory for a mem setter is definitely a good day. The other Tamers we're going to run alongside this are 2 copies of the Kyoko from BT22. We are looking to play this with RizeGreymon or with our Terriermon. It's a memory setter, and when any of your level 4 or higher CS trait Digimon are deleted, you can suspend this Tamer to return a CS trait Digimon card from trash to hand. Awesome, recurs our pieces. And then on your turn, when this Tamer unsuspends, if you don't have Alphamon, this Tamer may Digivolve into Alphamon in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. So you can warp when you unsuspend with this into the Alphamon for 3, as long as you have 3 or less security and you unsuspend this Tamer. So excellent Tamer to get into the Alphamon, put it alongside the Craniamon, and you have 2 immune blockers. We are also going to run 2 copies of the Mirei. Start of your main phase by returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck. You can play a play cost 4 or higher Mirei or play cost 4 or higher Tamer card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. And then on play, trash a card with the only relevant trait here is CS, and then draw 2. So I do feel pretty good trashing this, drawing 2. It helps us find our top end pieces and then sets us up to bottom deck this and then get our Kyoko on the board. So it is here as a supportive Tamer to help fill out our consistency. So that is what I'm doing with Craniamon in BT22, running it in the CS engine, getting some blocker shenanigans going with Alphamon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.